Hello, Assalamualaikum. The reason why I recorded this video is because I can see that you're still, um, I wouldn't say struggling, but somehow you still didn't read as per what I suggested for you to do. And even though you read, I realized that actually you couldn't understand some part of the readings. Okay, so first one that I asked you to read is this one, the metric handbook. And I believe most of you already done the reading, but I will go through. Right, this is to 27. Right, because some of you after the crit, okay, last Monday, yesterday after the crit, I realized that actually you couldn't understand some of the diagram. For example, this one, it will help you to plan the spaces. You can see relationship between the functional and social zones in the library. So when you enter the library, you can go to the center. It doesn't have to be literally at the center, but the main space, the one that you will reach first, is at the social spaces. There's cafes there, there's bookshops, and then from there, this will be connected to all these other spaces. For example, the functional space number 1 might be computing. That's where the computers are. Functional space number 2 can be where, for example, the magazines are. Functional space number 3 where the books are. But all these other spaces actually connected to one point. Okay. Of course, from these spaces to these 3 spaces, there's supposed to be a barrier. Okay, to control the book, to control the user. And then this one, you can see here, this is on Central Public Library. You can read to understand, but yours is actually not a central library. Wait, I think I missed something. Yours is, you will see branch library. Another thing is here also it mentioned how you can segregate spaces based on the, this is for academic library, noise zoning in a typical academic library. But still, okay, you can understand and you can apply to in your design. Activity, research, study, group work, and entrance. So from the entrance, permitted noise and gradient or gradation of tolerated noise until here more quiet, and more quiet one. Here is how you can arrange the spaces. Okay, noise planning in a typical academic library, but still it's the similar way. You can use a similar approach to arrange spaces in your library. You can see here quiet study areas, and the book stacks work as the barrier. Okay, from the quiet ones to the less quiet space. Here. Right, so this is on the book number 1, the metric handbook. Newford handbook mostly will help you on the sizes. You can see here carrels. I do mention to you not to have the carrel room, the lock one, okay? But you can have this. You can have this one. So this is called carrels also, but this is carrel tables. Okay, you can see here the partition macam ni. So you can do your work together with others, but quietly, and actually you cannot see others because of this partition. If you do not know how this looks like, please go to our library. Go to the Hamzah Standard 1, 2 and the new buildings too. It will help you a lot. Okay, learning is not just by reading, it's also by observing, of course by attending to classes and etc. But as architects, as architecture students, you have to be able to observe and digest and use that information for your design. Okay, you have to know how to do that, especially in your upper years. You have to observe you have to be more sensitive on the social issue and others. Okay, book number 3 that I know that you are scared of, the pattern language, because this book contains a lot of text, but it's very helpful in helping you to design a wonderful building, not just like, okay, this is a building, but a place where you can say, oh, at this area, this will happen, this activity will happen, and how this building actually shape the community over there, or the user experience. This book is divided into three: towns, buildings, construction. Um, you can read a little bit on towns, but I will skip and go directly to buildings. So I will share with you, okay, this is very important, okay? So how to actually use this book. Any book that you read, it will explain to you on how to use the book, okay? Using this book. So you can read this, or you can just listen to my explanation. So what you can do is you can skip. You can just read the chapter that you want. No worries. But this book actually already divided into three, kan? Tadi ada mention three, and in in each group, which is the town, building, and construction. For example, if you go to building, it will again group the topics based on groups lah. May I tunjuk how it's grouped? Okay, buildings. Building starts at page 463. So the first group of patterns, this one is called a pattern language. So the first group of patterns helps to lay out the overall arrangement of a group of buildings. So in building punya chapter, the building punya group of chapters ni, the first part it will explain on how to arrange the group of buildings, a group of buildings. Okay, it's on the main building, on pedestrian street, etc. and etc. Okay, small parking lots, pedestrian street ni might help you. Let's skip to the next one, 103 kan. Let's go to 104. Okay, this is 104. Okay, after you know how to design a group of buildings, this one is on, say, let me read here. Fix the position of individual buildings on the site. So this is about positioning each of the building within the complex, one by one, according to the nature of the site, the trees, the sun. So this is one of the most important moments in the language, because you are already start to shape the building, which actually really relates to the user. So you can see here, let me go to the, you can choose whichever of this that will help you in your design. For example, let's see this one, 106, positive outdoor space. Okay, last time your friend, the concept is on bringing exterior into interior, for example, or like focus on the trees. So this is very useful. Positive outdoor space. So if you're like really lazy to read, you can just read this one. In making the south-facing outdoors, this is relates to the previous chapter. So this book, it will relate to other chapters. It's up to you whether to read that or not, but it's very helpful. It will be very useful to read the other chapters relates to this chapter. You must choose the place to build and also choose the place for the outdoors. So the outdoor, of course, don't choose it at the, for example, west. In our case, west, don't choose west. It's the best to choose the north and south. So this pattern gives you the geometric character of the outdoors. Okay, outdoor spaces which are merely left over between buildings will in general not be used. For example, like next to your studio, there's trees there, there's greeneries there, it's shaded, but we're not using it, right? You can see here how after this explanation, you can see the image here. So you already learned solid and void. Solid and void. Solid is the building, void is the surrounding. So this solid here represents buildings. You can see how even though there's lots like massive of that, for example, there's grass here, it's still buildings that creates negative. These are still negative and leftover space. Compared to these buildings that create positive outdoor space, you see how the shape, okay, it helps people to have to create, to use this space. You can have a smaller, I would say, group. Okay, a smaller or alcove can be a smaller one. It can be a bigger one. and you can read others. If you go to the bottom one, okay, this is another group of space which is already about the designing inside the building. Wait, mana dia? Okay, this one. The main entrance, the half-hidden garden entrance section. This one will help you to design inside the building. You see here? Okay, within the building swings, lay out the entrances, the gardens, the courtyards. If you go further down, it will go towards this building fronts, pedestrian destiny, and other stair seats. You can see which one it is relates to your design and other stuff. Okay, so do read this, find a few chapters that will help you to make your design more interesting, and share it during class, or just show it to me during in your next crit. All right. Okay, all the best. Take care.